Hey guys, it's Lori. So lately I've had a lot of people coming to me and talking to me. A lot of my clients have been saying, that things from the past are coming up, and maybe they're in relationships that they're like, okay, maybe this isn't right for me. People are dealing with breakups, changes, lots of change going on. And I will tell you, you're not crazy. This is going on. So, without getting into the whole explanation of it, the energy, the physical energy, so the atmosphere physically is a mess, obviously. As we know, there's lots of shifts and changes, but there's also lots of shifts and changes in the etheric field, the spiritual realm. We are in a spiritual battle. We always have been. However, it's ramping up. If you haven't noticed, it's ramping up. And I think what's happening is people, regardless of where you're at, are being affected by it, whether you know it or not. Now, some of us are a little more energy sensitive than others, and so you might feel it a little more. You might be having physical symptoms. You might be having like headaches, brain fog, fatigue, loss of memory, or like lots of memories coming back, but like from long ago. We're in a period where it's time for people to, like, if stuff's coming up from your past, chances are you've got to let something go, even if you think you already have. Say it's a relationship. It's not necessarily the person that you're still attached to. It could be just whatever time period that was, whatever was going on in your life then, maybe something you did, maybe something the other person did, whatever. So it's time to look at that, okay? But recently, a lot of clients through this energy have been talking about like breaking up. They're breaking up with long-term relationships, or have you noticed, and I don't know if you noticed, but if you know me at all, you know that I hate these labels that somehow it became trendy to self-diagnose personality disorders and other mental illnesses, or to diagnose your partner. And it's all over the place. I mean, if you want to find narcissist, empath relationships, go to TikTok, YouTube, whatever. You'll find them everywhere. Of course, nobody is a true expert. I mean, you might find one or two real experts. And you know what I find very amusing? Well, it's not really amusing. It is amusing, but it's not amusing. It's irritating to me. So many people that are very self-centered are quick to diagnose their partner or significant other or whoever as a narcissist, and label themselves as an empath. So first, before I go any further, and this is not going to be popular, and I really don't care, but true empathy is rare. It's getting more rare by the day. Some people are gifted with empathy, okay? And that's even above and beyond just empathy. Empathy, what it used to be. So what's happened is narcissist empath relationships have taken the place of codependency in I guess psychological terms or whatever. It's a codependent relationships, toxic relationship. Not necessarily you're an empath, they're a narcissist, or you're a narcissist, whatever. Another thing that's happened is narcissism or self-centeredness is so freaking common today. It's ridiculous. Anyway, okay. I've seen so many narcissistic, self-centered people. I'm not going to diagnose them as having NPD, but self-centered people, very selfish people, claim to be the victim of a narcissist. True or not, I can't tell. I don't know these people. Some of them I do know, and I know for sure that they are not a victim of a narcissist. But whatever, try to tell somebody that when it's all over TikTok. Anyway. Anywho, okay, so say you're leaving a toxic relationship, okay, and you're having a really hard time letting go. So I want to talk just on an energetic level, okay, and there's a lot to talk about on a spiritual level. There's a lot to talk about. One video certainly will not cover it. So I'm going to kind of let that go for now. But, okay, so throughout our days, everybody, when you interact with somebody, so throughout the days, you go to the store, you talk to your spouse, whatever the case may be, the people you interact with, every time there is some kind of emotional charge, picture it like this, like these little, tentacles or vibrational waves shoot out of people, okay? All day long, every day, all the time, okay? And it can happen from a distance, too. You don't have to be standing next to the person. It's not like physical, it's not like a stun gun, you know what I'm saying? So, but it is. It is like that. So picture like if somebody were to shoot you with a, I don't know if they call it a stun gun, whatever, when the wire comes out, so you got that going on. Well, when you engage in a relationship with somebody, and even more so when you are physically intimate, when you're sexually intimate with somebody, you've got these things going back and forth, okay? We call them cords, and everybody that has any kind of connection has them. So you may have some kind of emotional charge at the store. These things go out either way. Well, those are gonna kind of, work themselves out and kind of dissipate on their own because they're not that big of a deal. But when it is bigger, they get deeper. Then you add in, okay, and in this day and age of, I don't know, I'm not going to get into everything, but, okay, so when you have sex, not only are these cords going deeper, picture like a fish hook, so they're not just going in straight in, they're like a fish hook, so when it goes in, it kind of, clips into you, it's a hook, on your aura, your auric body, your etheric body, so it's clipped in, okay? When you have sex with someone, it goes beyond that. Let's think about this logically. Physically, it's the closest that two people can get physically together, right? You can't get closer than that. And of course, I gotta be, it's so crazy, isn't it? Just as a side note, when you watch anything on YouTube, you have to kind of learn the YouTube language. Like, nobody can say words anymore. It's so stupid. Anyway, but you know what I mean. So when two people are together, hello, somebody actually, is inside of another person. So, yeah, you're as close as two people can get. Even if you don't go to that extreme, but you still take other acts. You know how physical disease is spread. So say we have like an STD and it's spread, whatever, and you can go get it taken care of. Well, there's also spiritual transmitted demons. So STD, spiritual transmitted demons. So you know how when you sleep with someone, what is it? They say that you're sleeping with like 5 people that they've slept with prior or whatever. Well, Same thing on a spiritual level. So, especially if these people have no spiritual foundation, or a false one. So, say the last person they were with slept with 5 other people, 10 other people, whatever the case may be. So everybody's got their own spiritual attachments, okay? If you're not actively working to prevent that and to get rid of that, so they're passing them along. So there was a picture I once had. I don't know if I still have it. If I do, I think I put it up on my Facebook back then. Of course, I haven't been on Facebook in forever. But where if you were looking with spiritual eyes, you could basically open somebody up and see a ton of yuck because of these attachments, okay? And then people wonder, why? Why am I sick? Why am I negative? Why am I angry? Why am I sad? Why can't I move forward? What's going on? And then they proceed to continue to sleep with people. I believe that everything God tells us to do, He tells us for a reason, and we're just too stubborn to really look at that. All of us as a people, I'm not, myself included, until, it took me years. I hope and pray that the younger people in my life come to Him sooner than I did. But it's not until you truly open your spiritual eyes to see this, and this is only one tiny aspect of it. But so, for instance, He tells us, fornication, adultery, so fornication is, sexual activity without a marriage contract. Adultery outside of the marriage contract. Okay. Why would He tell us that? Is He telling us that because He doesn't want us to have fun? Is He some kind of cruel deity that is like, well, I'll give you these sexual urges and these sexual desires and then tell you can't use them? No, He's not. He made it to be a beautiful thing to procreate, to have more, to have children, to reproduce. But also, there's more to it than that. Anybody who's ever been in love knows that. But everything that God made for good is used artificially, and there's a counterfeit reaction by the enemy. So yeah, so God created it so that man and woman get together, they fall in love, they commit to each other for life, they make a family, they raise a family, because if you think about it, I could go deep here, but I'm not going to. I'm trying not to, but it's really hard not to go down that rabbit hole when you can look at the problems of people not staying together, okay? And look, I'm not bitching to anybody, judging anybody, myself included. I know where I've screwed up too. So, but yeah, children were meant to be not only created by a man and a woman, but raised by a man and a woman. So, it's funny how it was all like set up that way, but we have to come in and go, nope, I know better. Why? Think about it. Back to the narcissistic thing. It's like everybody's calling everybody else a narcissist, but they're so, and I'm not saying everybody in the world or everybody in the free world is self-centered, but look around. It's like the norm right now. That's why so many people hear the stuff about narcissism and this and that, and they go, oh yeah, that sounds right. Why? Because narcissistic traits or self-centeredness is common. Okay, so anyway, say you've come to the realization this is toxic, you found out somebody cheated, whatever. You need to break it free, okay? Remember those courts. Let's go back to the courts. See how I started going down? It's because there's so much to this. But anyway, just the chords themselves. The reason, one of the reasons it's so difficult is because you've got these chords embedded, deeply embedded, okay? Another reason could be because that person brings up so much in you. So one thing I want people to do when they're trying to heal, okay? Number one, stop focusing on the other person. Stop focusing on the other person. Focus on you. I'm not saying take all the blame. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you shouldn't be upset if they screwed you over. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can't change the other person. You can't, you know, so many people try. It's called manipulation. Who the heck wants to be in a relationship that you've manipulated your way into, and the other person is there for any reason other than the pure motive of love and that they want to be there? Who wants that? I don't know. The ego wants that. So that's one thing, okay? Stop focusing on the other person. Number two, focus on yourself. Ask yourself hard questions. Is this my ego? 9 times out of 10, your quote-unquote heartache is not a heartache. It's an ego that's bruised. Does it hurt? Yes, I'm not saying it doesn't hurt. You know, people hear a bruised ego and they think, oh, that makes me bad. No, that makes you human. Sorry, this is moving. So, yeah. So, it makes you human. It doesn't make you bad. We just have to realize if we're operating an ego, we're not healing. Okay? So stop labeling it good, bad, whatever. And another thing I hear from people is, well, I have a right to feel. Of course you have a right to feel this way. Stop letting your feelings call the shots. Oh. Anyway, okay. The other person's good, bad, whatever's going on is none of your business. Okay? If you have found out that you've been lied to, this and that, and that, and that, yeah. Okay, and you're not willing to accept that. If you say to yourself, I'm not willing to accept that, stick to your boundaries. Don't worry about it anymore. Now, I know that's easier said than done, but every time you catch yourself going, oh, she did this or he did this, and I feel like a fool. You're not a fool. You were in a relationship. See, that drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. You know what else drives me nuts is, oh, he never loved me or she never loved me. How do you know? You don't know that. Why does it have to be black and white? Why can't it just be, this is what happened in the relationship? Yeah, so-and-so played me for a fool, but did I benefit at all? Well, where did I benefit here? Because if you weren't benefiting, you wouldn't be in the relationship, okay? So where did I benefit? Let it go, you know? Everybody plays the fool sometimes. Remember that song? There's no exception to the rule. Maybe factual, maybe cruel. Listen, baby, everybody plays a fool. You know, it's like, and that song has a line in it like, next time around, I can't remember how it goes, but it's like, you know, this time around it was you, next time around it, you know, it'll be the other person's turn. That's how it goes. Everybody plays the fool sometimes. There's no exception to the rule. I don't care if you're gorgeous. I don't care if you're brilliant. Looking for love, being in love is taking a risk. In today's, at least in Western society, we don't have boundaries we used to have. We don't. It's more like, hey, you're not happy? Yeah, go ahead. Go get happy. You know what? No relationship is perfect 100% of the time. You can love your partner every minute of every day, and you can dislike your partner 23 hours and 59 minutes of 5 days a week. You know, if that's the case, you might want to find out what's going on. But you see what I'm saying? Like, people go by their feelings too much, you know? And I'm not saying your feelings don't matter. What I'm saying is your feelings shouldn't be leading the way, okay? First of all, if you're that miserable, and I'm not talking about abuse, okay? But if you're that miserable, what are you doing there in the first place? Maybe you shouldn't be sleeping around with somebody until you know them a little bit better, right? Anyhow, okay. I have another thing I want to do on relationships where you answer questions like, are you truly compatible? And will this relationship work? And blah, blah, blah. But we'll do that later. So I'm already at 20 minutes here. And all I really want to tell you is how to get rid of those cords. So if you feel like you just, like, why can't I let go of this relationship? Why can't I stop thinking about this person? Blah, blah, blah. Part of the reason could be the cord. So one thing that you want to do is stop focusing on the other person. Stop focusing on, it just so happens when you break up with somebody, everybody and their brother wants to tell you everything they've seen along the way, any news they hear about them afterwards. You'll even have some friends or family members out of love that will stalk their Facebook or this or that. First of all, you get off their Facebook. Don't look at their Facebook. Don't look at any of their social media. Get rid of it. You don't need it. There's zero reason you need to be on their Facebook. Okay? Number one. Number two. I guess somebody didn't like that one. Did you see that? Whoa, I just fell. Maybe somebody didn't like that. Okay. Number two. Don't keep talking to them and talk it out. Okay, so some people, they're like, no, I'm dead set. I don't want this relationship. But they continue to talk. And you know what? Whether you have kids or not, don't give me that, okay? If you have kids together, absolutely you want to stay in contact and you want to be amicable. You want to talk about your kids and anything related to the kids. You don't want to talk about your relationship. Not unless you're planning on getting back together at some point. If you're married and you're trying to reconnect and maybe make the marriage work, that's a different story. But if there's a reason that you guys have to split, you still shouldn't be talking every day about you guys, okay? So get over yourself, and you know what? If you want to let him or her go, let him and her go. Get over your damn ego, because guess what? That may entail that they have somebody else coming into their life, and that's not your business. Sorry, not your business. None of your business. Doesn't matter. I don't give a shit if it's the next day, if it's 2 weeks later, if it's 3 years later. It's not your damn business. If you have children together and that person is not good to your children, that part is your business, not their relationship. Okay? Your children are your business, not your former partner. You can't have it both ways. And I'll tell you what's talking there. If you feel like, oh, well, if you truly love somebody and you realize, okay, it just doesn't work. And that's another thing. You can love somebody and know that it's not going to work. That's okay. You just have to really look at it, step back and look at it and say, again, where feelings will fuck you, excuse me, but if you look at it, try to take your feelings out of it and look and say, okay, I love this person very much. Is us staying together to the benefit of either of us? Is it benefiting me? Am I harming myself by trying to stay with this person? Am I helping this person? If you're in a really good relationship, one of the indicators is you become a better person. Not because the other person is like, do this, do that, blah, 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 blah. No, nobody's telling you what to do. You just become a better person because that person is in your life. You like yourself better. So if you start to not like yourself, if you become the person that is like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you talking to? Blah, blah, blah. Do you want to be that person? Obviously something's not right here. Do you want to be that person? And then, oh, well, I'm afraid he's cheating on me. I know he's talking to him. So why are you staying with him? Why? Everybody's got all these reasons. Well, money, this, that. Really? Okay, well, then that's your choice too. Suck it up. I'm sorry, but I'm tired of this. Well, I want the house. I want this. I want that. Well, there you go. There's your choice. You got it. You got it. Why do you have to have everything perfect? You know going in, and if you don't, well, I'm sorry. Pay more attention. And I'm not trying to be cold, but come on. Okay? Come on. I'm not saying I never made any. I made terrible mistakes. So I'm just trying to share with the wisdom, But so if you want to, one good thing to do, like I said, okay, is you want to kind of reflect and look, at yourself and change whatever needs to be changed. Don't be distracted by anything to do with that person. If you have made the decision not to be together, then stick to it. Now I'm not saying if that person calls you and says, oh my, I just got shot, I need your help, I'm right outside your door. Depends. I mean, it depends. Maybe you'll go down and help them, and maybe you'll call the ambulance. You know what I mean? I'm not saying to not help that person. What I'm saying is you have to weigh it out, right? But in a spiritual sense, you can pull the cords. Don't just cut them, because like I said, they're deeply embedded like a fishing hook. So you want to pull them. So what you want to do is you want to just sit there, and it's really any kind of spiritual work really isn't all that hard. You don't have to take all kinds of measures and stuff. Just want to take a few deep breaths. And you just want to close your eyes, and you just want to kind of think about I always recommend prayer. So ask God, okay, can you show me, God, where I have these, if I'm attached at all, in any way to anything negative, including this person, whatever, anything that's unhealthy and toxic or unhealthy. And just allow your mind to kind of scan your body, your being, any place that gets triggered, whether it's a physical pain, or you might feel like just a heaviness, or like a difference in the energy. You can scan it with your hands, you can do it just in your mind. And then you want to actually envision pulling these cords out. Most of them are going to be in the heart chakra, and in the root chakra, possibly, if there's something about survival, security. There's probably some in the solar plexus. I mean, you can have them everywhere, okay? Sexual chakra, So you just want to go out and you just want to pull. Ask for, if you think about something, so picture that person in your mind. Where are you feeling it? Where do you feel the pull? You want to really tune in to your body. You can have somebody else work on you, and see if they feel anything too. A lot of times, whether you're doing it yourself or somebody else is working on you, you can physically feel it when they're pulled out. That's okay, it'll go away. The next step that a lot of people don't do is, so once you pull these cords, you want to immediately fill them with the light of God. You don't want to just let them be open, because they're going to get filled up one way or another, right? And what happens, so the other person has no idea you're doing this, but they are going to feel that you've let go. Something's different. They may not know what is different, A lot of times when I tell people you got to let go and they say, okay, I'm not going to call him anymore, I'm not going to do this, and they do all that, but that's not the same. If you're still holding on, the person still feels it. You cannot talk to them for 3 years. They still know you're holding on. On a subconscious level, on an energetic level, they still know. So on an energetic and subconscious level, the person is going to feel that you've released them. 9 times out of 10, even if that person doesn't want you, broke up with you, whatever, because of the ego, because of the energy, and it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Even if that person doesn't want you, like I said, usually within 3 days, those cords are going to try to reconnect. It's usually 3 days. Don't quote me on that. It could be 4, it could be 2, it could be 5, but it's usually right around 3 days. Usually you're going to hear from that person, you're going to bump into that person, whatever. Don't let those cords reattach. In other words, do not answer the phone. If you see them out in public, turn around and walk away. Not only that, don't allow your mind to go back to that person, whether it be in anger, like you see them with another person. Don't allow your deep breaths, And one thing you can do if you're lost in your mind like that, whether it's with the cords or whatever, if you start thinking, obsessive thoughts, think, what is he or she doing? Are they with somebody else? I can't believe they did this to me, blah, blah, blah. Every time that person pops into your mind, have a positive truth prepared. It has to be true, it has to be positive, and it has to be it has to resonate with you. You have to believe it. Just because something's true, if you don't believe it, it's not going to work. Okay? I use Bible verses. If you don't believe Bible verses, they're not going to work. Okay? But they are truth. The Word of God is true. So just pick something that you know to be true, resonates with you, you believe it, even if you're not in a good place right now. Like, I deserve better than this. Okay? You may think that is true. I believe that, but you're not quite there yet. So, if you believe it, and it is true, you do deserve better than this. It's quick. You want instant recall. Have it prepared already. So every time that person jumps into your head, now don't just think it. You want to, as soon as you become aware that, oh, I'm thinking about her or him, if you mess up a couple times, which you will, and you're kind of late, you don't get it right away, it's okay. At any point when you become aware that you're thinking of that person, you want to speak aloud that truth. I deserve better than this. This is unacceptable to me. Whatever the case may be. Speak it out loud. And the reason I say speak it out loud is because if you think about it, when you're thinking and then you go to speak, it interrupts the thought automatically. It's automatic. Okay? So as soon as you begin to speak, and if you're in public, if you're out, whisper it to yourself or whatever, but make sure you speak it out loud. Okay? All right. I hope this is helpful. I know it went longer than I expected it to. A lot of rambling there, but I don't know. I hope it's helpful to you. I'll be back on soon. I get so much I want to talk about. This world is going crazy. I laugh, but I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. It's not funny. I never thought, I used to have dreams about this stuff when I was really just a young girl. I had dreams about a lot of the stuff that's going on today. I never thought I'd truly live to see it. And I laugh, but I don't find it funny at all. I'm laughing because it prevents me from crying. I think it's really, really a sad place we're in right now. Anyhow, I hope this helps. Talk to you later.